Hi there, Hasibullah. Let's take a look at this first set of essays you've written for us. Schools, entertaining or merely educational? Let's see what you said. It is irrefutable that education plays an imperative role in building uh, the successful career of a person. Some people are of the opinion that, get rid of this comma, primary and secondary education ought to be more entertaining. However, there are certain demographics of the society, this should be which, believe that, again no comma, schools should mainly focus in educating pupils. This essay will examine both sides of the argument and further discuss, get rid of the ES, why I think the sole purpose of the schools should be to educate children. Now, why did I replace kids with children? Because this is an academic essay, and therefore we do not use informal words like kids, okay? The same thing applies for phrasal verbs and such language that can be deemed informal. Other than that, it's fine. So let's move on. To start with, students need to be emotionally fresh to learn new theories. Entertainment washes away all the fatigue and tiredness they built during the day and gives them some extra energy to continue up with a U, maybe, on their journey. For example, a recent study by World Bank indicates that countries which have fun and entertaining ing activities as part of their school curriculum, no comma, have higher literacy rates S as compared with a D to those whose main focus is to teach textbooks. This is because students breed resentment towards higher education if they are already sick and tired of secondary education. Okay. On the other hand, lowercase t, there are numerous reasons why the schools should merely target educating youngsters. First of all, there are a host of public holidays along the year in which schools are off. During these off periods, students can go on vacations, pursue their hobbies, and have fun. Moreover, lowercase t, there are a plethora of entertaining places like theme parks, community centers, etc. So the students, two words, etc., should not waste their time while they're at school and utilize the available resources efficiently. For instance, a study by the UK government indicates that in 365 days of a year, adolescents, you want a TS here, not CE, have only 95 days of official attendance. Hence, the sole focus of the educating bodies should be education and nothing else. In light of the above discussions, you have to take this the and move it, we can conclude that, no comma, although it is good to have more fun in some entertaining modules as part of a course outline, it is vital to better utilize the resources as youngsters can have their fun in their spare time. Okay, so I actually liked this essay quite a bit. And let's talk about what I liked and what I didn't like. First of all, it read very easily, so it flowed nicely, which means that you generally have good control of grammar, good control of lexical resource, so all of that is good. Were there some errors in your grammar? Yeah, there were. I think I mentioned pretty much the major ones that I saw. So those are some things that I want you to look out for. The vocabulary was fine. You had some nice expressions here like demographics, higher literacy rate, utilize available resources efficiently. So all that was nice. I liked all of it. You absolutely utilized the template appropriately and correctly. So for your first attempt, I like it. If there's one thing that it's actually a detail really, but I would like you to tend to it now because I think you can. Your writing is at a level where I think we can talk about this now. Let's look at the topic. It says some people think schools should be more entertaining. Others think their sole purpose is educate. Which do you agree with? So you told me here that you think the sole purpose of schools is to educate children. So it sounds like you were pretty firm on that. However, in your essay, you decided to cover both points of view. And that's fine. I actually genuinely think that that's the best way to do it. But in order for that to make sense, your thesis statement, in other words, the sentence where you write your position, has to reflect that and show why you think it's important to show both sides. So what do I mean? Rather than saying, I think the sole purpose of the school should be to educate children, what I think a better sentence here would be is, this essay will explain how although there are some valid arguments in favor of entertainment, on the whole, I believe that the sole purpose of schools should be to educate children. So do you see what you're doing in something like this? You're basically saying, yeah, I do see how this is valid, but on the whole, I think this is stronger. Now, when you do that, then it absolutely makes sense why you would discuss both points of view. Okay, it's a safer bet when you do it like this. But I do like the fact that you talked about both sides of the argument. I think that's a good thing to do. You just need to reframe the way you're going to write your thesis statement. Okay, so let's take a look now at your second essay. All right, so here it is. It's the enjoyable activity with a child essay. Let's see what you had to say here. It is irrefutable that today's children are the leaders of tomorrow. Some people argue that adolescents can imbibe, no, you mean TS, the people adolescents, not adolescents, the age when we are adolescents, okay? So, some people argue that adolescents can imbibe better skills and be more innovative if they indulge in cherishable activities rather than reading books. That's an awkward word. It's not really an appropriate vocabulary word here. And accord is not a verb, so you can't use it like this. You could say I am in complete accord, or I am in accord with this. But again, that sounds really unnatural. So why don't we try to stick to expressions that are academic, but certainly more natural sounding, okay? So it's actually really easy to do. You just write agree here. So I completely agree with the aforementioned statement. This essay intends to elucidate the arguments in favor of my stance, which with a CE, in the upcoming paragraphs. Okay, this is all right. I think there are better ways to say this that don't sound quite as rehearsed. It sounds kind of like a memorized expression. And, you know, remember, examiners have read hundreds and hundreds of essays, so they kind of pick up on this sort of thing. It's better to use something that sounds a little more natural. We can talk about that in essays that follow. Definitely experiment with different expressions and different language. So let's move on. Keep that in mind for your next set of essays, okay? This is wrong to embark upon. We don't really start an essay, we don't start a paragraph like that. Better would be to begin, or to begin with, or firstly would have been okay. So let's try firstly. So firstly, doing pleasurable activities such as playing chess or solving a puzzle can enhance children's '(S) cognitive and intellectual skills. Spelling. This is because children pay more attention and they don't imply, that's the word, they apply extra efforts to win a game and feel superior. While how to defeat his rival in playing chess, they always, no, that doesn't work grammatically. There's something wrong here. While thinking of how to defeat his rival in playing chess, they always think of every aspect of the game. At the same time, they're just waiting for some opportunity to benefit from it. Recent research from the Canadian government indicates that, children who participate in fun activities like solving puzzles, are far more innovative, not way more, that's too informal, are far more innovative and creative as compared, to their mates who are into reading fiction and nonfiction books. Mate also is informal. Say their friends, say their classmates, their schoolmates, their peers. That would also have been okay. Okay, so let's move on. Cognitive, intellectual. Okay, so moreover, juveniles who do fun sport activities with their friends and family can build, with a D, better time management and leadership skills. Activities like winning a cricket match in only 30 minutes and scoring some specific number in this time frame would help children to manage their time and tail sensible decisions. I have no idea what that means. Tail sensible decisions. In addition to this, such engaging fun activities would also help them to build problem-solving skills which they need to deal with situations in life. For instance, a recent study by Toy Boy, which is a leading toy company in North America, indicates that, 65% of children who bought their equipment have found their way, get rid of the S, either to national or state level sports teams. Okay, fine. To sum up, although reading books may broaden a child's knowledge, it is the fun and physical activities like solving puzzles, playing sports, playing chess, etc. I don't like that, etc. I would please remove it. I mean, either tell me what you mean or say another word. So you could have said, honestly, like is plenty here. Like shows that there are more games and more activities. You're not including them all. You're simply providing some examples. So the etc. is really just not necessary at all. It's superfluous. So, like solving puzzles, playing sports, playing chess, that can enhance their time management, leadership, and problem-solving skills. In my view, adolescents, TS again, learn the difference between an adolescent with a T and adolescents with a CE. Should participate in enjoyable activities rather than staying at home and reading fiction books. Okay, so here's what I want to talk about. It was lovely. It was fine. Like I said before, the template is being used correctly. You're definitely developing your arguments. So all of that is great, okay? For your first essays, it's a wonderful start. But there's one problem that I want to point your attention to. It says, enjoyable activity with a child can develop better skills and creativity, okay? What did you analyze? You analyzed cognitive skills, intellectual skills. Now here you did say innovative and creative, but you didn't really talk about this creativity at all. They're thinking of every aspect of the game. I mean, it was just that one word. You just mentioned that one word about creative. So an examiner would probably look at this and say, well, you know, this essay didn't really analyze an activity that would develop creativity. If you really wanted to convince somebody that you did, you needed to go into this idea of creativity more. Here you talked about time management and leadership skills. So that for me is what the problem is. There's almost nothing about creativity except for that one little word. Especially here you talked about cognitive intellectual skills. So it doesn't really, it basically feels like you kind of left that aspect of the essay out. Okay. I think you would probably be okay. I think an examiner would probably give you the benefit of the doubt. But for the future, I want you to really, really be cautious of the way these tasks are worded and make sure that you're really addressing all the areas of the task that they've asked you to. Okay? So let's talk about what you need to do now. You need to correct these essays based on the suggestions in this video and send those back to us. Also, you need to write out an error correction list where you write down all the mistakes that were pointed out to you, and next to each mistake, what the corrected version would be. That's a list that I want you to add to with each essay correction that you get back. And then the third thing that you're going to send us is, of course, your new set of essays. Try to write them in the next day or so you can really apply everything you've been learning. All right, we're here. We're waiting to see what you write next, so good luck.